So a rectangle is to be inscribed under the following curve. So we've got y equals 4 cosine of x over 2, and x goes from negative pi to pi. That's a better way of writing it. And what are the dimensions of the rectangle? Okay, so let's just think about our cosine graph. 4 increases its amplitude. Dividing by 2, what does that do to the cosine curve by transformation laws? It stretches it, right? So normally, the cosine curve looks like this. And what is this point normally? That's pi over 2. This is negative pi over 2. So if I stretch it by a factor of 2, what happens? Those points turn into pi and negative pi. So my new graph is here's negative pi, here's pi, and then my new point, it went from 1 to 4, like something like that. Yeah. So there's our graph. So this is y equals 4 cosine of x over 2. And then we're going to have, at some point, x, we have our rectangle. I do that completely out of scale because the right-hand side and the left-hand side should be the same. So that really means my cosine graph so out of scale. But you guys should get the idea, right? Just about this. So area is equal to length times width. But the length, what is this length? That's 2x. Because they're supposed to be the same on each side. And the width, or maybe the height, however you want to call it, it's the y value right here. Well, we want to write everything in terms of the same variable. So what can I write in terms of x? Just the function. 4 times the cosine of x over 2. That's what that means, because at this point we have some x value and then the y value that's outputted from the function. 4 cosine x over 2. So at this x value, our y value, we plug the x value into here and that gives us the y value. Alright, so we've got our equation in terms of x. Let's simplify it a little bit. So that's going to be 8x times the cosine of x over 2. And now what do we do? Take the derivative with respect to what? X. So the a dx. What rule will we need to use when you take this derivative? Chain. Product and chain rule. So the derivative of the left, so we have 8 times the right, which is cosine of x over 2, plus the left function, 8x. The derivative of cosine is, so we'll have a negative here, the sine of x over 2, times what? Where did that 1/2 come from? Chain rule is the derivative of x over 2. Or this x over 2. So that means we set this equal to 0. 0 equals 8 cosine x over 2 minus 4x times the sine of x over 2. Okay, so far so good? Any questions? Alright, well, now what we're going to do is we have to solve for x. So this means that x times the sine of x over 2 equals 2 times the cosine of x over 2. Yeah. Alright. I think that's right. Yeah, we divided by 4. So the 8 turned into 2. Move it over. Maybe we even want to simplify this and say x times the tangent of x over 2 equals 2. I don't know if that's going to help us though, is it? What's that? Well, you don't want to play because you have to just check all points between negative pi and pi. So, any ideas? It's probably not going to work out nice. So we can use our calculators.
Yeah.
Graph this as y1, graph 2 as y2, and then use isect. So x, after using isect, hopefully we get x is approximately 3.44. No, wait, no, that's going to be wrong. X would be half of that. X should be about 1 point what? Yeah, 1.72, which means your height, your height. Our length was our length across. Length is approximately 3.44, and our height is approximately, plugging in 1.72 into your function, 2.61. Which means your area, according to the book, is about 8.98. Is anyone confirming those numbers? Is that right? Someone? Okay.